And we told you earlier in the week about this atrocious breach of trust, this illegal violation for the nonprofit group nonprofit political advocacy group Stand for America that Nikki Haley is associated with. The tax filing for a couple of years ago was leaked to the media. Politico went ahead and published the names of some of the donors for this group. It's an obvious attempt of political intimidation. And to give us the latest update on that is the former ambassador to the United Nations and former governor of the Palmetto State of South Carolina. She is the one and only Nikki Haley. Ambassador Haley, thanks for joining us.
Good morning, Larry and Carrie. It's great to be with both of you.
Well, we're living in a time now where the United States Attorney General has ordered a raid on private documents from the President of the United States at his home. And we're told we should trust the FBI and trust the Justice Department with documents like this. They would never do anything political. And at the very same time, well, look what happened here with your private personal tax filings. This got leaked by someone. Do you know who?
Well, interestingly enough, we file our tax returns as we're supposed to with Stand for America, which is it's a policy advocacy organization. This isn't even a political organization. This is a policy advocacy organization where we send out newsletters every day talking about news of the day, hitting things that are wrong, but also proposing solutions or what should be done instead to talk about where we can go. Now, we also have a political organization with hundreds of thousands of donors, and we properly, publicize those and keep those transparent. Well, with this policy advocacy organization, we get contacted by Politico that says, look, we have your donor list, and we're going to be writing a story on it. Well, we immediately do a cease and desist, and we say, show us that you have it. They send it to us, and we look at the last page, and it is stamped by the New York State Attorney General's office. So we do some digging, and basically what happens is the New York State Attorney General's office leaked it to a group called Documented, which is a leftist group that does things like this. Documented handed it to Politico, and the rest is history. Wow. And, I'll tell you, Larry, this is a violation of state tax law and federal tax law. This isn't just some small leak. I mean, this is like someone releasing your personal private tax returns. You can't do that. And so, I have said for far too long, Republicans are too nice. They sit there, they have these things happen, they whine and they complain about it, and then they go on to live another day. Well, we're not going to do that. We are filing suit against the New York State Attorney General's office. We are going to Attorney General Merrick Garland and telling him that he needs to investigate how this happened out of the New York State Attorney General's office. And we are looking at other legal actions that we need to be taking towards the leftist organization Documented, as well as what could be done to Politico. Because, enough is enough. This has got to stop. All they're doing is trying to intimidate conservatives and keep us from using the power of our voice.
Good for you.
And we're not going to take it anymore.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that you're out there and fighting back on this, because this has been a problem that's been plaguing conservative organizations for a while now, and it is part of a chilling that they're obviously trying to push. What is the hope for accountability? Like, what might happen if there is evidence that this was leaked? What might happen?
Well, we obviously, went and started talking about this. And of course, everybody's like, oh, you can't do this. Oh, you can't do that. And I said, well, it's a violation of the law, right? And they said, yes. So look, this is going to be expensive. It's going to be tough, but I think it's a fight we have to do. And I hope that all of your listeners will join us. Go to standforamerica.com. Help us do this. Help us get through this. But look, at the end of the day, the New York State Attorney General has tried to bully President Trump. They've done this to the NRA. They've done this to pro-life groups. But you never see this happening to the ACLU. You never see this happening to Planned Parenthood or
Right.
Sierra Club.
Right.
It is happening, and we have to do what's hard. We have to do the things that aren't easy, and we have to do the things that are uncomfortable. So what we expect to have happen is we expect to go and win this case that they violated the law. We expect to go expose them for what they allowed happening. We expect to go after this leftist group that did this so that every other leftist group thinks twice before they do it. And, we're going to go and see what we can do to get the press to understand that, look, you can call this freedom of speech, but when someone breaks the law and you go and help them break the law, there's something wrong with that.
We're speaking with Ambassador Nikki Haley, and listen, you don't need political advice from me. I'm just a stupid talk show host. But anytime a conservative Republican can show that they will fight back, and gone are the days of, let's just have a gentlemanly disagreement about these things. It seems like you know what the score is here, and you know the way they're fighting right now. So good for you for taking this fight on instead of just taking it. Can I ask you to put your foreign policy hat on just for a quick moment here, because you were the ambassador for the Trump administration to the United Nations at a time where we had a pretty good policy there in Europe, I think, with regard to Russian oil, Russian gas, the pipelines, ensuring that our allies were energy independent. I'd love for you to reflect on how quickly that was reversed by the Biden administration and really what kind of trouble our allies are in right now, being beholden to Vladimir Putin as he invades a free country of Ukraine.
Well, it's not just our allies, it's us as well. We're all in trouble because of what Biden administration has done. And I'll tell you, all of this started with the fall of Afghanistan. I mean, here you have the fact that we left Bagram Air Force Base in the middle of the night without telling our allies who stood shoulder to shoulder with us for 2 decades. That sent shockwaves, not just to our friends, it sent it to our enemies. And then you go and you look at when we had the hacking of the pipeline and the food processing plant by Russia. Russia didn't do that to us to destabilize us. Russia did that to see how we would react. And what did we do? Nothing. Then you go and you have Biden falling all over himself to get back into this Iran deal. I mean, this is a terrorist organization that basically says death to America, death to Israel every day, and you want to give them $1 trillion so that they can have all of their terrorist proxies go back and continue to do the terror around the world that they're doing. I mean, look at what our enemies see. They know that we will never have a weak president as bad as this. And so they're all doing whatever they can. I think what you're seeing happening with Russia is, Russia is now trying to threaten the Europeans. The Europeans got us into this, and this is going to be a tough day for them. When Germany went and did Nord Stream, I fought that. President Trump fought that, and now they're paying the price for it. And so, but what we should be doing is we should be opening up all of our energy options. We should be exporting liquefied natural gas. We should be making sure that we're helping our allies in the process. But this war with Russia and Ukraine, Russia is having a hard time. I mean, they're not going to say it. They're not going to imply it. But, Larry, they just extended the age that you get drafted for in Russia. They just extended that age to 65. Wow. Yeah, they've lost over 80,000 of their military members. They've lost at least a dozen generals, who have died. Russia is having a hard time, and Ukraine is taking property, getting their land back. And what we need to do is we need to have the backs of Ukraine. That doesn't mean we write them a blank check. Yeah. That doesn't mean we send loads of money, but we give them the equipment and the ammunition that they need to win. And if they win this will stop every other enemy that we have. If they lose this, it's only the beginning of what could happen next.
Former United Nations ambassador and former governor of South Carolina, Nikki Haley, now with Stand for America, who she is fighting back for that organization. And we appreciate you joining us and giving us the latest on that. Keep us updated, please.
We'll do it. Thanks so much. And I hope all your listeners will go to standforamerica.com and help us out.